All right, guys. Welcome to a day in the temple with your host, Frank Monday. Come over here. Get over here for a minute. Hope you guys are doing well today. Trying to get my tripod figured out. Having myself a morning smoke. I'm in a lot of pain, man. I got a tooth work done. Motherfucker was up in there with the drill and this, that, and the other thing. You guys don't want to see or hear about that, though. So, anyway, I got that done yesterday morning. And then it's the 58th day of the 100-day challenge. And then today's the 59th day. And in a few, I haven't checked in the last 24 hours because I couldn't even sleep last night. Just the pain was unbearable. But I'm doing a little better today. And I can feel that maybe over the next couple of days it will stop hurting so much. So that's good. The 25th, that's today. On September 25th, the new moon occurs in the sign of Libra, prompting a new beginning. It's a time for taking charge of our relationships and giving them their due attention, as well as working on our negotiation and partnering skills. Whew. So that's a lot going on right there. Maybe start something new in your 100-day challenge, a new path of inquiry, perhaps. I've been working on the Hebrew alphabet and I've been working on rebuilding some of my older Kung Fu systems, which is good. It's exciting when you start focusing on something again. For me, the Kung Fu has been one of the more challenging aspects of the 100-day challenge because I had some head trauma a few years back and it kind of put me into a lazy man mode where because of the pressure in my head, I can't let it build up too high. So I got into the lazy man mode of not doing as much kung fu as kung fu can be a, a pressurized head game. So I added the 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, and 25 squats back to the regimen, which is just a lazy man's way of getting in his basic physical exercise, right? Because that's important, some gentle physical exercise. So I've been keeping up with that. That's good. I take off one in 10 days. So I'll do 10 days of disciplining myself to do all that. And then I'll typically on the seventh, eighth, and ninth day, I'll push it a little bit harder. And then on the 10th day, I'll rest. That way it coincides more with the 100-day challenge rather than with your regular seven-day work week. Take charge of relationships and give them their due attention. Resolution of conflicts is the focus for right now. So that's good. I've been doing that. And I found that I read these typically at the beginning of the month. This is an astro chart for the beginning. This is an astro chart for the month of September. And then I'll forget about it. And then I'll find that I'm naturally doing some of these things that I already read through, maybe just once. Sometimes I'll read through them periodically throughout the month. But here towards the end of the month, we're getting ready for the next cycle. Sun has entered Libra back on last Thursday, Friday. And so now we're Saturday, Sunday, and we're looking forward to a month long Libra being a lunar month, right? A little tomorrow, the new moon, we go into the ninth lunar month for 2022. The equinox passed, so a lot of stuff happened over the last week, right? We had the 55th day of the 100-day challenge, so we're more than halfway through. Then we had the autumn autumnal equinox. We had the transition of the sun from Virgo into Libra. Then we had the what is that? The new moon coming up, and then yeah, lots of good stuff going on. Still feeling some pain, man. Back top molar, TLR, top left rear molar, TLR molar. Because of this lunation, the new moon in Libra, because this lunation is opposite Jupiter, we should watch for exaggeration and excess. However, we do need a fresh start. Shooting too high, too far won't help us achieve our goals sooner. A Mars Saturn trine can help us see the value of pacing ourselves and keeping our feet on the ground. So, Mars and Saturn are trine on this new moon in Libra. On the 28th, coming up on the next Tuesday, Wednesday, Jupiter forms a semi square with Uranus. This is the second of three transits, with the other two perfections on May 11th and December 23rd. If you are out, happy like, give me a yo. Hey, looks like we got Frank out in Jersey. Frank, how the hell are you? I'm reading a little bit of astrology, and I'm in deep pain, man. I got a tooth worked on, a root canal. I've had 3 root canals in the last year, and one of them he just couldn't get the fucking nerve out of, man. And so he got back in there yesterday and dug around, and he's like, "I've already removed the nerve," and I'm like, "Why is there so much fucking pain then?" And so he drilled on it a little more yesterday, trying to get it ready for whatever, either pull the motherfucker out or put a crown on it. I don't know. I know everyone has their own opinion about teeth. Fuck it, just deal with it, Roll with the punches. You guys don't want to hear about my pain and suffering, but I couldn't even sleep last night at all, man. It was really bad. So I couldn't. And the problem with that kind of pain is you can't do anything else either. You can't enjoy writing in your journal. You can't enjoy painting. You can't enjoy working on stories. You can't enjoy even listening to fucking Lovecraft. So you can't enjoy shit, man, when you're in fucking tooth pain. Oh well. Better to deal with the pain though than to resort to painkillers. Someone asked me if I was taking painkillers. I was like, fuck no, those things are addictive, man. Last time the dentist, I complained about wisdom tooth pain and he gave me like a week's supply of painkillers. And I was like, can you think you can give me a second week's supply when I was done with that one? And he's like, it sounds like you're already addicted. And I'm like, nah, it's the pain, bro. And the pain was already gone. And he's like, I'll give you one more script, but that's the only script I'm ever going to give you. And so he gave me one more script of painkillers. And I didn't take them right away. I took one, because happy times. But then I put the rest away. They were codeine. And I would jump on one of those bad boys like every 2 or 3 weeks. And I had I don't know, about 10 of them. Right. And I was like, ooh, this can last me the whole fucking year. And I can have a party time anytime I want. And the next time I told him I had tooth pain, he said, nope, ain't going to happen, man. He said, you have an addictive personality. He said, I could see that. And I'm never going to give you another script. He's like, you have to find somebody else. And if I catch you trying to get scripts of painkillers, I'm going to report you. So they're very tight over here in China when it comes to that kind of shit, which is good because I could easily be like, going in there every week. Oh, this fucking tooth is killing me. Give me a script, doc. I don't know what to do. Because they're nice, man. I mean, there's nothing nicer. You feel a little bit tired afterwards. If you've taken a couple of days of painkillers, like you feel that it's fucking with you and probably eating away at your liver or whatever. But it's fucking nice to have that. Um, Even if you don't have any pain. I mean, that's some good shit right there. So yeah, I'm glad that they're so fucking disciplined over here. They're not going to give out the happy pills for no god for anything short of an amputated leg or something. So in our Jupiter semi square Uranus, so funny how Libra is the new moon and entering fall and things for me. Big court date coming up for me. I hope justice is served justly. Yeah, that's always nerve wracking, man. I hope it goes in your favor. Um, I don't know the details. I don't know if it's going like if litigation's against you or for you, or if you're trying to litigate against others. But I hope it goes in your direction. Hey, Atlantean Neo's here, that time traveling gentleman from Atlantis and beyond. Give me the O's when we're back. Yo, yo, yo. If we can clean up this feed, yo, 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 yo. Give me a yo when we're back. Meanwhile, back on the farm, yeah. General Charger, was that a Dodge Charger or a Chevy Nova? Seems like it was a Dodge Charger, huh? The General Lee. I'll look that up, man. I should know that shit. That's not polite. Don't be forgetting your childhood. If anybody can get it before me, was the General Lee Chevy Nova or a Dodge Charger? General Lee. Eh? It's all going in and out. Yeah, motherfuckers. General Lee. I think it was called a closer look at General Lee. What? Come on, man. I don't want the General Lee. I want the General Lee. Duke's General Lee, sometimes referred to as the General, is an orange 1969 Dodge Charger. I was right. It's a Dodge Charger. I thought it might have been a Nova, but I got it on the first guess. Good for me, man. Oh, I just broke a cup. Can you fucking believe it? Ah, sweet Jesus. Decadence and excess, man. My wife thinks that I should work 60 to 80-hour work weeks and then come home and clean the fucking kitchen on the weekend, too. She really nerve wracking motherfucker. Don't get shit done. Anybody out there? Give me a yo if you're out there in Happy Land. I just broke a cup. That's good luck, huh? The General Lee is simply referred to as the General, is an orange 1969 Dodge Charger driven in the television series The Dukes of Hazzard by the characters the Duke Boys, Bo and Luke Duke. Along with cousins Coy and Vance in season 5, it's known for its signature horn, its police chases, stunts, especially its long jumps, and for having its doors welded shut. I think that was because they had like roll cage inside, roll bars. Yeah, it's spiritual, huh? Yeah, the breaking of glass. Especially this time of year, right? Well, we're not quite at Crystal Moss yet, but we're getting close. Yeah, so breaking glasses is good. I never I never give it too much fucking thought. My wife is decadent in her excesses. She doesn't clean the fucking kitchen. If I was a woman that was a wife and she tries to get it all done last minute. But it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I know how fucking terribly boring it can be to be at home and be a homemaker and then act like you got to do shit. But I would have the fucking if I was in a situation like her where I had the access to the car and all the money all week long and just chilling like a villain, right? Don't got to feed either one of the kids because they're both at school. The husband's at school, and all I got to do is make a dinner, you know, 3 times a week because I don't really give a fuck about Fridays or making a dinner on Fridays. And so just and Monday's the start of the week. I really don't care that much about Mondays either, but just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, make a dinner, and that's it. That's the fucking extent of yeah. If that was the extent, well, she does her own thing. I wouldn't call her lazy. She's motivated to do shit she enjoys. But just get the house clean for Fridays. So clean the house once a week, do the laundry on the weekends, and then make 3 meals Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That doesn't seem like a lot to ask for the kind of fucking salary I bring home every month. But it's inconsistent at best. But she does a ton of other work that she thinks is important, right? Like, yeah, like spending the money. You got that right. But, what are you going to do? Yeah, I guess you could save it for the future. Might as well get it spent. She was the county store in Garwood, Idaho, a little south the center of Idaho. Really, was that film shot? I met Daisy Day sliding out of the General Lee. She said she was a look-alike and the doors were welded shut. Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Meanwhile, back on the farm, Daisy's hanging out with Grandpa, feeding the chickens, collecting the eggs. Are you polyamorous? Polygamous. Am I polygamous? No, I wish I was. I deserve to be. As hard as I fucking work with very little ROI, return on investment from my old lady, there ain't no goddamn reason why I shouldn't screw around occasionally. That would be fun, and I deserve it. That's pretty awesome, man. I watched a lot of Duke Boys. Not, I don't remember the fifth season much, so I must have been a little older. Let's see if I can look at the history of the TV show itself. No, it doesn't show it. So the Dukes of Hazzard. When did it run? And that'll tell you um, what years I watched it. Let me see. So I probably watched the first three, maybe the fourth season. Yeah, I bet she was, man. Um, that was a good TV show. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. Um, just a good old boys, never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day they were born. And that's all I remember of that song. But that's not what I wanted to get into. But for some reason, I don't know why it even came to mind just now. I was thinking about Jupiter semi-sextile with Uranus. Hard to find common ground. We need to be willing to make changes in our lives right now. This is a rebellious, restless influence, and we should avoid random moves at this time. It's best to tap into areas that may need some attention and improvement. We might open ourselves up to new ways of thinking, but we could also too easily avoid taking responsibility for things that truly matter. While watching for impractical ventures and unusual tangents with weak staying power, we should connect with our desire to innovate. There you have it, man. That finishes us off for all of the interesting lunations in the month of September. And then we'll be headed this week, we're headed straight into October, everybody's favorite month, right? The typically the 10th lunar month passes through October, and that's one of my it's a good time to be sober minded. I agree with that, Neo. Yeah, those were fun times. So the Dukes of Hazzard ran from 79, 7 seasons, so it ran till 86. Yeah, so I probably watched it as a little kid, like 80, 79, 80, 81, 82, and then that's about it. I didn't keep watching it till its end because I don't really remember the cousins. By the time I do remember seeing a couple of times the cousins on the show, but I don't really remember anything about them, so I don't remember paying any attention to it anymore. I must have got busy with other shit, skateboarding, surfing, probably going into junior high at about that point. 85. Its last year was an 85. We cannot be sober. Just want to start this over. Huh. Yeah, guys. So I've been going through a lot of tooth pain. I had a root canal, and the guy never got it right. It's been like the third or fourth time he's worked on that goddamn tooth, and it still hurts. So obviously he hasn't killed the nerve the way that he thinks it did. Um, Teeth are a pain in the ass, man. I wish they would just grow like a shark. A shark, they say, grows something like 30,000 teeth in its lifespan. So we should just grow teeth much easier. If one falls out, another tooth should just grow right back in. And if you've got a bad tooth, another tooth should just start growing under it. And it should just be easy. You should be able to rip them out and grow another one. That's a Tool song. Oh, okay. I got you. You're quoting Tool lyrics. What about the Dukes of Hazzard song? Does anybody remember it? What would that be called? Lyrics. Dukes of Hazzard song lyrics. I'll sing it for you guys. Just a good old boys, never meaning no harm. Mm, beats all you ever saw. Been in trouble with the law since the baby was born. Yeah, we. It doesn't say that. It says, yeah, we all they ever saw was in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Flatten the curves. Look, that's where they got the expression flatten the curves. But it says flat in the curves. Straight on the hills. Someday the mountains might get them, but the law never will. Making their way any way they know how. And that's just a little bit more than the law will allow. I'm gonna get you, Duke boys. Duke's a hazard, yeah. And they had the little dog, Boss Hog, and Cooter, right? Those fun shows, man. That made me appreciate country life a little bit more than I probably should have. What do you guys, don't be no fighting in the ideas room, man. If I've seen any kind of horse shit out in the ideas room, I'm gonna start banning people. That's a Tool song. Toothaches. It was just have if we could just have nails for teeth, yeah, and no pain unless you bite your tongue. Yeah, you don't want to bite your tongue off. Maybe that's why we've got such sensitive teeth, so we don't bite the tongue off. Wild in the country and doing the thing. Riding red roads and drinking natty light. Fishing on the weekend and camping in moonlight. Got a shotgun in the winter and a Chevy stepside. I know the local sheriff, so I don't need to hide. Yeah, it all went to shit when they started teaching those country boys how to make methamphetamines and flooding their little backwood counties with oxycontin. They really made a determined effort to destroy the rural culture with flooding it with illicit drugs. And that's a government operation. That's CIA, man. They're like, these backwood boys going to live and enjoy life, have themselves a natty light and some and a barbecue, a pork roast, and we just can't stand for that. Let these poor people enjoy the good life. They're out there fishing, buying land, doing lumber work. Why don't we just flood their little, 10, 15,000 village area with all the opiates they can handle? And we'll teach some of them prison cons how to make meth and then put them out there in the country and sell them on meth. That'll solve that poverty problem. And then support it with our law enforcement infrastructure. Get the local sheriff in on the deal. That'll make it all a-okay. Yeah, it's fucking just what happened. They did it everywhere, inner city, rural countryside. There's been a war by the elite families that own the pharmaceutical industry, working hand in hand with law enforcement and the intelligence agencies to make every fucking neighborhood in the United States unlivable and to poison our children and then to distract them with bullshit pop culture like Lady Gaga and the LGBTQ rainbow flag, um, weaponized culture against the American people for a long, long time. I'm surprised they've survived as long as they have with the amount of horse shit that they force feed into everybody via the television. It's really, really bad. Well, the truth of the matter is, though, you can make a choice and you can tune out. You can maintain your libraries, teach your kids to read, um, try to, encourage them anyway to read, grow, grow cannabis if you want to get high, stay away from the pharmaceuticals, exercise regularly, work in the garden. You don't have to make the choice to sit in front of the TV all day, every day, and take pills from the doctors, right? Um, but it does become difficult, when people suffer from pain. Like I said, I almost got pulled into it over here in China, and they don't even make pharmaceuticals available. When I found out the dentist could give me so easy to get pulled into it because it's so tempting. You know what I mean? Yeah, be safe. Yeah. Hey, Monster Teatrix out there in Happy Land. Good to see you, Jeff. I hope you're doing well. Yes, living a healthy lifestyle is the best, just the best you can. That's right. I have my failings. I have my tobacco. I have my coffee, but that's it. Those are the only two I do. Um, and they're what they are. They're bad enough, right? But they're not the end of the fucking world. At least I'm not killing myself with other things. That would kill me a lot faster, right? If I spiraled into anything else, I'd be dead in a year. Yeah, the most dangerous enemy, Jeff, is the enemy within the temple, and that tendency towards um, self-deprecating talk and any sort of insurrection within the kingdom needs to be rooted out. The world can't throw. The world cannot oppose you with any kind of enemy that's more dangerous than the enemy within your temple. The minions trying to usurp the true lord of the castle, guys that would have you focus on the greatest enemy I face is myself. That's right. The greatest enemy you face is the enemy within your own temple. So once you've got those motherfuckers under control, the seven great sins, right? Lust, avarice, gluttony, lethargy, um, pessimism, any form that they may take. Once you got those motherfuckers under control, like last night, just in unenduring tooth pain, right? And I'm thinking, hey, can I wash it away with some booze? And no, I don't have any booze. I ain't got nothing in the house, and that's no solution, right? So I had myself a cigarette and tried to go back to bed, and then that couldn't help. So I went down, got dressed, went for a walk. That didn't help. Tried to write in the journal, couldn't concentrate, tried to focus on other things, just didn't work. So I said, fuck it, just embrace my pain. So I just sat there, rubbing the tooth, just, and I wrote a short piece in the journal about tooth pain. And let's see if it, and it probably is totally fucking insane, right? It's like 3 sentences long, but here, I'll share it with you. This was in the, I did a little journaling. I ended up doing some good work, checking the astrology and shit, even though I couldn't concentrate for more than 15 or 20 seconds at a time. So I wrote, top left rear molar in pain due to the dentist drill. So he was really getting in there with the drill all, I'm praying for you too, Jeff. Thank you for that, Monster Teacher. And guys, everybody say a quick prayer for Frank out in Jersey. His name here in the chat is Free Gift from God. He's going into the courts this week, and he needs some angelic power for litigation in his favor. I don't care if he's right or not. He's a member of the channel here, and therefore we should support him like a secret group of conspirators, right? Um, you should always think of yourself as the head of a great conspiracy that you and all of your friends are working towards taking over the world one day. Because there are real groups of conspirators out there that have already taken over the world, and there's no reason under heaven why we shouldn't try to take some of that back. Because good people have to at some point assert themselves. So I wrote, yeah, in great pain from the dentist drill. One of the great pains I've endured is teeth since my mid 20s. So close to 30 years now of fucking pain with these teeth. The wisdom teeth growing in every year, and then the occasional tooth going bad. Okay, have a good night, and thank you for your prayers, Jeff. My prayers are returned to you, and do good magic, man. All right, I know you don't fuck around with magic, but have a good night. Have fun in dreamland. Hopefully, you'll dream about something fun and interesting. So I said it's the most frustrating thing to endure because I feel like it's senseless. Why can't we just go through life without this kind of pain? Why, oh, why? And then I start, are we back? Are we back? Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Are we back? Yo, yo, yo. Are we back? Yo, yo, yo. Let me see them yos out in Happy Land if we're back. Are we back? Are we back? No. All right. We're good now. Okay, good. Yeah, so I asked the question in my journal here, does tooth pain make for clearer thinking? There doesn't seem to be anything of benefit from tooth pain. Fuck me. Seek the light. And then I wrote seek the light underneath. So I realized actually it does. Like when I first started feeling tooth pain, I had just made myself a wonderful, like super delicious sirloin that was like so good. And I took a bite of it and bam, the pain struck me. And I was like, oh, the fucking tooth. And so I scheduled a dentist and I started looking forward to going to see the dentist on Saturday. This was like back on Thursday. Right. And so all the anxiety over sitting in the fucking dental chair, having that motherfucker hold my mouth open and drill away, to try to get that root out and that one back tooth. Right. And it's always one tooth over the last 30 years. It's been either the wisdom teeth growing in or being removed. Right. So it was just, maybe I should have dealt with teeth better in the beginning, but I don't think so. I just think it's a part of fucking life. Yeah, meat fires them up pretty good. So I'm probably getting towards the end of my meat consumption career in this lifetime. Because I remember Master Nee, he said once you get past 60 years old, you don't need to eat meat anymore. You could switch over to an entire soup diet, you know, vegetable broths and herbal tea for the rest of your life, from 60 to 120 if you want the longevity. Then you can just get rid of eat meaty, which kind of sucks because it's one of my favorite proteins, right? It is my favorite protein. Anyway, so I had made the steak and it was so delicious. And I thought, wow, this is such a valuable thing. Like to just, and you don't think about it from day to day. And yeah, so you guys know the situation, right? But when you've got this, like, it heightened my level of appreciation of the food so high that I was just thankful of like the day to day being able. Yeah, yeah, you could, like, according to Master Nee, he said you don't really like, you need meat when you're young and you're growing, and you need that active protein and those hormones to be a little more aggressive and survive as a young person. But he said as you once you hit like your your second and third season in life, like it's your third season really. So you've got the spring of life, 30 years, and then 30 to 60 is your summer of life, and then 60 to 90 is the autumn of life. So once you hit the autumn years of life, and then 90 to 120 is your winter years. Once you hit the autumn, you don't really need, you just need to be periodic with it, right? You can enjoy the occasional meat feast at key incremental parts. But he said if you make it as far as your winter years, 90 to 120, you need not ever eat meat again. In fact, he said the winter years you don't even really need to eat at all. Like you can just, like, if you know basic nutrition, like for elderly people, like you can switch over to just boiling things down into teas and soups. So herbal teas, and you could still have meat based protein soups and stuff, but you just don't really need to be engaged in like, you know, chewing at meats. Anyway, the Chinese have a whole philosophy around human life and the grand equation of 120 years being our allotted time on earth. And that's even in the Bible, that's biblical, that we're allocated 120 years. If we live according to natural law, then we should be able to make it through the whole thing and endure all of the hardship. Because, yeah, so the point I was getting to is we think about pain as an odious thing and it not being, but man, it really cleared up my thinking and like my level of appreciating food, and it made me want to fast too, like, because the tooth hurt, you don't want to fucking stick anything in your mouth, don't want to talk either. Like the last 36 hours I haven't done really any live streams. Don't fucking talk, my tooth hurts, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to check in today to make sure everybody knew that I was doing all right. It's Sunday here in the temple, and Frank Monday's surviving, dealing with another tooth, as we all do, right? And that's a part of life, and it's good because the pain, does it serve anything? Yes, it does. It serves to crystallize wisdom. That's why they call them wisdom teeth, because that suffering makes us more appreciative of the pain-free times, and it makes us more appreciative of everything we do in life as selfless service to others, right? And it makes us more wary of someone walking by that might look like they're having a hard fucking day, you know? And it makes you reflect and think, hey, maybe they're fucking having tooth pain, you know? Um, Someone yells at you or you get into a situation, and you think, hey, this person's suffering. It's not about me. It's not even about them. It's about the pain and suffering. And so, I mean, sometimes people just get stubbornly hostile, and you should be able to discern that too. So I do think that the tooth pain has a purpose. I think it serves a purpose, and I think it increases our level of discernment, spiritual discernment, and otherwise. And if nothing else, it increases our deep appreciation for not having pain. And should we seek out? I mean, if the pain is unendurable, then yeah, you should have access to the opiates that will alleviate that. But you got to remember, like, if you get involved with methadone or what's the other one, morphine or anything like that, like in extreme pain situations, then they take away your clarity and cognition goes to zero. But if you endure that pain, no matter how bad it is, cognition rises up to another level. Yeah, and that's the best thing for it. And you need those opportunities. And your family, that's why we work in family units, because the family should be able to get all that shit done that you can't do when, especially when you're the big time number one economic earner and one of the big time engines of economic power in the family. Even with doing all of that, you're still a great source of domestic labor too, and bliss and providing happiness for the family. So then when that, and my family does a good job with that. They pick up the slack when I'm feeling pain, and they show me a lot of sympathy and back rubs and shit like that. And that's why we form into family units, so that we can. Master Nee said that a family unit, and if you don't have a family, the solitary path is very hard, and I feel for you. Um, but Master Nee said that a family is like a duck. It's got a short neck and funny feet, and but it can fly, swim, and walk. But it doesn't do any of those things very good. The duck's a pretty good swimmer, but he's not as good as a fish. He's a pretty good flyer, but he's not as good as an eagle, right? And he's not a great walker, and definitely not as good of a elegant as a walker as, like, say, a crane or a sparrow. They seem to get around pretty good, but each area of the family fulfills some need of the whole. So it's like he may not be good at everything, but he's pretty good at he's pretty good at everything, but he's not a master of any of them. And that's how a family works. Some areas of the fortune will be better than others, and you have to work as a unit to get the whole duck moving. He used the duck analogy, and he said if you took the duck and you said, "I want to yank on his neck and make a longer neck and a little bit shorter legs so that I can have a more ideal duck," all you end up doing is killing the duck. He says you can't adjust the duck, but Monsanto thinks that it's got it all figured out, and it will engineer a better duck. You can engineer a better mousetrap, but you can't fuck with natural law. And a duck's a duck, and it waddles and it quacks, and that's what a family is. It's like a fucking duck. So I appreciate Master Nee's analogy of a duck. And maybe your family's not like a duck. Maybe your family's more like an ostrich or a goose, or maybe you don't like birds at all and you think of your family more like a hippopotamus. Whatever. The analogy is universal. It can apply to any animal. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And maybe you're a collection of animals. If you I like it too, Neo, and I think ducks are cool. They're some of the, like, I think that the one of the most interesting creatures that our planet has ever seen, and probably was the highest form of intelligence, is the duck-billed platypus. Imagine that bad boy. That's like the highest level of duck expression. He's got like a duck bill, but he can't fly, but he can swim like a duck. But imagine like a flying squirrel duck-billed platypus. That I think would be the height of intelligence on Earth. And I think those motherfuckers are still around, hiding out in the swamp somewhere, and that they're so intelligent, they're of such higher, superior intelligence that you can never find them anymore. It's not that they've gone extinct; It's that they know to stay the fuck away from dangerous people. And so I imagine the gnomes, the earth elemental beings, are very similar to duck-billed platypuses. You know, they're wearing little nice vests. They got a vest with like four external pockets, or one breast pocket, two lower pockets, and then a couple of internal pockets, and maybe a waistcoat. And then they, solid gold pocket watch, and they run around with bifocal spectacles on, and they hang out in places that people will never find them. Russian lad, what's up? Oh, yo, 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 what up, Russian lad? Yeah, I'm having a coffee and I'm enduring some serious tooth pain. And I haven't been in a talkie mood, but I figured I'd fire up a live stream and see how everyone's doing. And it's late night live with Frank Monday in the kitchen. I'm looking for a smoke though, so if you guys want to stick around for another 15, 20, I'll grab myself a cigarette. I'll be right back. And I'll check on everything here at the house. Make sure everyone's doing okay. My wife is talking to my daughter, and so my wife is took my son to basketball practice this morning. See, so I didn't have to do that. She knows I don't want. She tries. Sometimes she tries to talk me into that. She's like, "Why don't you take your son to basketball practice?" I'm like, "Why don't you fuck off? Why don't you suck a dick?" Yeah, I don't actually say that. I try to be nice to people, but I'm like, no. I put in 60 to 80 hours a week. On the weekends, I just chill. I got homework. I got homework to do too, so I can't go out and do nothing today.
对啊，今天我们都有事儿。半个小时。
All right. Yeah. So the kids have Saturday's their only real day off anymore. But they don't really even have a day off at all. Like they got to do homework on Saturday, and then Sunday they have extracurricular classes. Like Dre has basketball, Amber has ballet. Quack, 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 quack. Yeah, the ducks are over there quacking. So I jump up first thing on Sunday and make a little breakfast, and then Trey heads off to basketball practice, and then I got Amber until noon, and then she goes to ballet practice. So Sundays are kind of my day to get into temple mode and like actually do some work. But then what do I got to do? I got to do lesson prep for the week coming up of classes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So Sundays are when I do some internet research, download some videos and shit to add to my curriculum and look for articles for the kids to read. And I gave, many of my English classes essay work over the weekend. So they'll look at, oh, fuck, that's right. I also have to write a couple of essays of my own for school. And oh my God, now I've got a third task. I've got to make a PPT for a martial arts program that I'm starting because they told me it's okay that I teach Kung Fu at school, which is pretty cool. So I'm teaching a sports and gaming class, and so Tuesdays and Thursdays now, as an after school activity for the kids, I've been teaching them kung fu, and they said it's okay, but I need to make a PPT presentation to like so that they can sell it to the school, so that I can finance it, so I can get a little extra money, and so that I can start buying things like, you know, head protection and boxing gloves and shit, like pads to hit and, foam weapons and shit like that. So I like it. We've got a gym and stuff, and we've got areas to do different things, but I just get them out in the yard and make them do calisthenics and forms practice. But I got 20 young men. There's only one or two girls in the class, but I got 20 young men that I'm going to start teaching kung fu. Yeah, and it makes me more disciplined too because now I'm doing the lesson planning for kung fu classes too, which my kung fu is so ingrained. that I can practice an hour of kung fu without even thinking about it. But it's better if I think about it because then I can push it forward. I can start making more interesting activities. And I've taught kung fu classes in the past, but I've never tried to organize them in a fun way because it's not fun. Kung fu is generally not fun until you start getting some skill level in it. It's just rote practice over and over and over again. But once you start getting a little bit more skilled, then you can be trusted to do things like sparring and more advanced moves and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If any of you guys have taken kung fu classes, boys like it though once they do it for a while. They don't like it at first because it's hard work, but then once they get that kung fu, what we actually call kung fu, which means that achievement of immediate reaction from your training, then it becomes fun to them because they feel like they're making ground. So yeah, am I not interacting with the chat correctly, guys? Just having some issues when I drink or eat feels a bit uncomfortable. Oh, if you got tooth pain too, Russian lad, yeah, that's no kind of fucking fun, man. Oh, you got a bit sick? I legit got home. You having a coffee? Great. Oh yeah, good for the young. Yeah, I think it's good. And it makes me a little more disciplined too when I got a pretty full schedule. Like right now, in any given day, I've got like 4 hours of classes, in a row. And so I can't even have a smoke until after lunch. So I'll do like my 8 to 12, 4 hours, little breaks in between, but no time to smoke. If I had a vapor, I could go take a puff in the bathroom or something, but I don't, my vapor ran out, so I can't even do that now. But I noticed last week I can endure it, and when I forget about smoking, I don't even care. Like I went one day from lunch until almost 7. So from like 1:30, I had a smoke after lunch, and then from 2 to 7:30, no smoke. So 5.5 hours, and I was fine. I was fine. I do enjoy smoking, but I can do without it when I'm working. I noticed it frees up a lot of energy for doing other things. Like I'll become more diligently focused on something else. Anytime the little spirit of, hey, how about a smoke pops into my mind, I think, hey, how about I fucking finish these forms? Hey, how about I work on this lesson? Hey, how about I do this? How about I don't fucking have a smoke break? Fuck you. So once you redirect that, it's called ideation. I forget how they describe it, but I've mastered it a couple of times where I got rid of it entirely. But I realized like yesterday when I was having tooth pain, I'm like, maybe I should focus on just like quitting entirely again. And then I thought, nah, fuck that. The tobacco serves its purpose sometimes, I guess. But you can tell that I'm thinking about it, huh? Yeah, there ain't no smoking class. I remember when I was a kid, though, my first grade teacher smoked in class. It was either kindergarten or first grade, but one of those teachers she kept an ashtray on her desk, and she was like in her 70s or 80s or something, and she smoked more 120s, brown smokes. I think she was one of the last remaining living smokers of that generation. So kindergarten, we're talking like into the 70s, going into the 80s. I think by the 80s they had all retired to like the teachers' lounge. They would still go. Still had a teachers' lounge though. I remember all through the 80s they had a teachers' lounge where they would go and smoke and drink whiskey and brandy and shit. And then hit coming to the 90s, everybody had to sober up and stop bringing tobacco to school. It got entirely 86. And it became like if you're a smoker that you couldn't even get hired anymore. You know what I mean? So it was time to quit. And it wasn't until like the new millennium that they actually made cannabis, available. So if you had been a smoker, then you could switch over to cannabis. But that's not even available here. Maybe go fast food, like liquid diet for a while. It can be easy on the system. Probiotics, tapioca pudding, banana smoothies, and sure protein drinks, and like, yeah, yeah, there's solutions. Um, the problem is like once you've got tooth pain and you can't necessarily figure anything out at that point. You're just so consumed with the pain. What would have been funnier for sure? I don't get it. Smoking during the class. No, that's a Sigma grind set. I don't even know what a Sigma grind set is. There is a lot of stigmatizing with smoking though, because it can be bad for you. Yeah, yeah. I remember, man. I remember that. She was either my kindergarten. I think she was the kindergarten teacher or the first grade teacher. But yeah, she would drink brandy and smoke cigarettes in class. I remember her writing on the chalkboard, doing the alphabet, teaching us our ABCs. And I think that's where I got my first impression of cursive. Like she was hardcore, and she had a big lighter like on her desk that was like a giant propane fueled lighter, and she would just smoke them one after another nonstop, chain smoke them. Okay, yeah, that's good. You guys should have your own lingo. Um, that sounds pretty cool though. Sigma grind set. I think I kind of want to figure out what that one means. Maybe you can break it down for me. And it's funny that like I'm Gen Z as well, but there's a lot of that lingo I missed because I've been in China for so long. So like there was probably, I guess, like mid 20s to to late 40s. I've been over here getting it, and so like that's when like the Gen Z really started to come in fruition, and you know receive the benefits of their hard work from going to school and college, and they started to collaborate in the workforce. And so I do collaborate with some Gen Zers over here, but honestly, like the first 20 years of me being here, I didn't have any foreign friends really. Few and far between. Family men don't really make that many friends. I mean, if you live in a neighborhood where it's a community of like-minded people, then you will, be friends with the people around you. But the whole New World Order is all about breaking up community and making people more interactive over the Aramonic dark mirrors rather than out there, having barbecues and shit. Like there was a time when we would go downstairs and barbecue and socialize with the neighbors and stuff, and then they banned it. They're like, you guys can't burn any charcoal, even on holidays. They won't let us do it anymore. And so it kind of, you can still go out and hang out in the courtyard, but you can't really like be creative and find fun ways to interact with each other because they come along and and enforce the 1 meter, was that social distancing, social isolation. I was out at the store yesterday, and like they were so hardcore on mask mandates like everywhere. We were in an open air shopping mall, like a California style, Santa Fe style buildings that they built. They built a lot of those here in Beijing to try to make it look like California and have a more upbeat appeal. And like Nike, so you had to check your health code and have your mask on when you came into the place. But then once you got in, it was a little more freer. And none of the businesses required you to scan your health code to get into the business, except for Nike. Nike made everyone stand in a line, and they were limiting the amount of people that could come into the store. And my kids are like, I want to go in Nike. I want to go in Nike. And I'm like, I don't. I said, you guys can go in if you want. That's your fucking gig. You like to look at the Nike shit. I said, but there's no way I'm going to submit to additional hardship to look at Nike. Nike, you can fuck off. You can suck a dick. I'll never buy another Nike product again. It's like the hardship is already enough for us, but and then you have to take it upon yourself to make it even more of a hardship on the average individual. Fuck that. And then I was sitting outside at like a yogurt stand, having a cigarette, and I bought myself a yogurt, and it took the mask off, and I'm like talking to